Hey, I'm Brian from the Wild Coast Outpost. If you're new here, we just hand dug this well, 40 feet deep, set casing in, backfilled it all the way back out, ran water line through a trench to the back of the house. We're on the home stretch of hooking things up. If you've been following along this whole time, really appreciate all the likes, comments, subs. You guys are awesome. We've got everything we absolutely need now. So in this video, we need to finish the water line connection, install the pressure tank, pressure switch, water filter, all of our plumbing, hook up all of our wiring. Holy cow, it's gonna be a lot of stuff. But, oh yeah, I also have to rework my inverter so we have, while we're doing this, so I can move the batteries because the batteries are in the way. It turned into a couple projects you'll see coming up here. We gotta hook it all up, get it all done. Then we can run some clean drinking water into the off-grid Wild Coast Outpost cabin. Oh, that's gonna be huge. All right, we got a lot to do, so let's dive into it. All right, it's time to try and run this conduit up into where we're gonna put the pressure tank and everything. And the reason these batteries are in here is because they were freezing outside and they didn't like charging in the cold weather. So, and then just do that. Glued this on and it literally overshoots where I need to be, so we need to cut this back. Okay, get it lined up close and then quarter turn right about where we want it. Okay, nice, right there. Let's go get this big piece shoved in here so then we can do our final 90 connection. Okay, we gotta get all this through and coiled up. There we go. Oh, I'm gonna replace that all-round I put on there. Get that clipped up properly. Always clean it. Get it good. I'll just, I don't know, just goop it in there. I mean, it's not like this is pressurized line or anything. Okay, twist. Nice. Okay, nice. Well, nice. There you go. Some nice little conduit straps. There. Get it up in there. Ah, let's just seal this off good. That's fine. Get this inside here too. Try to get it down in there. Okay. Make this one nice and smooth. Yes. All right, we've come up with a plan. There's a lot of ways to do this nicely with a pump house, you know, masonry or insulated pump house, all that. But I don't really have a good way to heat it. I could run heat trace or one of those heat bulbs, but I don't have the biggest setup and I'm not getting solar in the winter, so I have to use the generator. I've run heat trace in my current pump box where I have a little RV pump from my cistern, but you know, I had to kind of run the generator twice a day, keep things topped up. If I just cut that all out and I house everything inside, then it's just inherently stays warm in there because of the stove. So yeah, let's get into it, build some boxes, and then I can basically be ready to go for plumbing everything. All right, there we go. Got her done. Nice little box platform. We'll get that put in at the back of my hallway. The tank can go on top of this. Here, I'll show you. Just a little quick platform. So this is my inverter shed because it's so big because I had the batteries and everything in there originally. This membrane is not sticking, but no worries. Tiger torch. Oh yeah! Woo! Right. Oh man, look at this rain. Shoot. It's going all the way back. I've never seen that before. There's a bit of a low spot here so the rain collects off the driveway. Oh my goodness. Like, I think we're getting a lot of rain, but I think there's a whole bunch more puddles feeding this now. So this is like a little creek running down the driveway. I don't know what to do exactly. I think I'm just gonna cut a trench across here, little trench, so I can direct most of this rainwater off into this bush over here. There we go. Luckily there's only one side of the driveway rut, so just dug a little quickie trench to direct that water over there, at least get most of it. Alright, we finally got all the materials. It's time to start assembling our pressure tank, tank T. We have our tank T. got some Teflon tape and some pipe dope on there. Here's the tank, 1/4 inch. Kind of messed up attempt number 1. I didn't get the orientation right and I cranked it too hard and then it wasn't lining up. So let's get this guy sorted. And this time felt like it wanted to go another turn, but then I cranked on it and it only turned like another quarter. What thread that happened on, but how far were we? We were pretty far down. I think I got one more thread. Cool, that's just oh my god. Grab. I mean, that's pretty easy still. Like, let's see. Yeah, this is the one. Okay. Keep it tensioned. Okay, no more than this though. Ugh. There we go. Okay. All right, here we go. Lights out. Let's freaking... I was gonna try to make a whole shelf up here, run conduit wires, do a whole bunch of things, but in order to do that, I need to kind of 2x4 frame out this wall so that then my drywall sheet would sit flush with this. That's why down here I have this flooring only going that far. So I was gonna do the wall there. I don't want the power to be down too long because of the fridge and all that. So I think what I'm gonna do is actually just move the batteries out here. I'll reorient them a little so they're narrower. We did it! Oh man, that was a bit hectic day. But the power is back on. That feels good. It's just getting dark, so we just made it. Alright, we got a lot going on here, but there we are. I think this is the final orientation of everything. Whew, I think that's good. I'm pretty tired. I think I have to call it for tonight. That was a lot of figuring out and reorganizing stuff, cutting things. Today's video is sponsored by Simpure. We've got their 2-stage whole house heavy metal water filtration system. It features a KDF cartridge that filters heavy metals such as iron, lead, manganese, and chlorine. It also features 2 clear canisters for the cartridges, so you can easily see if your filter is clogged up. Much nicer than the solid blue canisters that a lot of filtration systems have. The filters are a common 10-inch by 4.5-inch, so you can easily replace them. This system also handles filtering up to 80,000 gallons of water, so you can go a long time without having to replace your filters. Carbon filter can last 3 to 6 months, and the KDF filter can last 6 to 12 months. Comes with a 1-inch threaded female inside to the filter. So I'm putting the 1-inch to 3/4-inch brass fittings in here. You can see here it's got in and out marked on there. And if you take this plate off, you can see the arrows up top to make it nice and easy to reverse it. So easy enough, you just take all these off. You can flip the plate. All right, let's install this thing. We've got a spot to put it here now on the wall. So basically just put 2 screws on. Just put a couple screws here, slide them in, lock it down, and then we'll cinch that up after. Yeah, it also comes with a nice little filter wrench. You can slide it up in, turn it, into your filter. Wow, that's a lot of threads. Ooh, look how many threads are on that. That's beefy. Nice filter. Good thing to note, it's got plastic on it. So take that off. You don't want to install this with plastic or it's not going to work very good or probably at all. Nice. Okay. Just tighten it up. Probably nice and snug. That's good. Let's see how it tastes. Oh, man. That's incredible. Huge thanks to Simpure for sponsoring today's video. Let's finish this thing up. Okay, that actually went pretty smoothly. I think we've got it all sorted here. I'm just missing a 3/4-inch 90. That'll connect to our main supply run. That's all good from there. I'm actually just going to use this water heater thing that I have connected so I can thread it onto there. Okay, we're back from the store. Got our 90. We've got everything we need, I think. Got some extra 1/2-inch pecs. Wow, okay, that was hectic. Let's keep it tight and then crimp it. We got our no-go gauge. So that's go. And this is no-go. Nice. Okay. For some reason, Home Depot didn't have just a push connect 90. It says they did, but we couldn't find it. So I had to make one side crimp, one side push, because I can't get into the back corner there too easy. Alright, holy, what a whirlwind. Plumbing always is a bit insane. At least for me. You check the no-go first, then you check to see if it goes. No-go, go. Yep, it's good. Yeah, it's a bit of a tight spot, so I'm gonna crimp onto there, and then I can cut and just use the push connect. I think that's gonna make it a little easier. I found some info online about wiring it up to 120. I think essentially you wire it up like a light switch would be. It just disconnects the hot. When this contact hits, it connects the hot, powers the pump, right? So if you wire these just like you would do a light switch, I think. You just wire these neutrals together and then all the grounds together. Now bent it in here, I think we're good to go. Huh. Well. All right, let's get this plumbing all done up. So we've got our, here, let's see if I can show you. This will be how it goes together. Got all the angles all dialed in. Little pro tip I saw on YouTube one time was dry fit it and then make some marks where everything's gonna be. So then you can line it up, just glue it all together, line it up easy. It's hard enough. I gotta get it quick, my bad. Okay, got this washing machine drip pan, which is a 1-inch drain. So I use some of our 1-inch water line here. But I just have this going down to like a 90, and then this is going over here into a 2-inch drain. Some 2-inch PVC I have going through the pipe. I was kind of using it as a air intake a long time ago for the hot water tank here, but I didn't end up needing it. I had some mesh wrapped around the bottom to prevent bugs from coming in. But with this open, it's actually a bit of a draft, so it's hard to see, but I basically siliconed all of that around there. Have the 1-inch pipe going down into it and then just siliconed it. That was pretty tough to get in here. I should have just used some expanding foam, but I just wanted to use this tube up, so that's what we got there. And then same here, because obviously that joins up to outside air coming in, so this would just draft. So I've siliconed this guy off here good too, and we'll see how that goes. At least if this blows off over pressure, which I don't think is really gonna happen, but just in case, we have that at least plumbed into here, which will shoot down through there and then at least go outside under the house. I think that's it for tonight. I totally whacked myself in the face with my lineman pliers trying to pull the insulation off one of those wires. So just wanted to get this last thing done, and we're pretty close. Pretty close to the home stretch. All right, there you have it. We've got everything installed, especially this sweet water 2-stage whole house water filter. So I think that's gonna cut down on any heavy metals and everything. It's gonna keep our drinking water nice and clean. We know everything coming through all of our faucets inside here are gonna be a-okay. Alrighty. Ho, we're close. Super close. Okay, we've got our new hose bib connection going over to there so that we can bypass the filter. I plugged off where it used to go, and then I've connected our new line coming out of everything to our 1/2-inch and our main supply up into our 3/4. The last thing to do is hook up the outside line, wire in our breaker for the switch. We'll go outside, put that drain plug back in, open the outside valve, turn the breaker on. Let's pressurize everything up, see if it goes. Holy cow. Oh, I'm trying to fix this conduit before we connect the wires, and that PVC I glued in there was in there pretty good. Thought I wasn't gonna be able to do what I want to do here, but I saw this trick of heating up how to undo a glued fitting, and you just heat it up So I used that lighter, put it in through the bottom here, heat it up around here, and then used pliers to just peel it back. And it came right off. Oh. All right, that was a bit hectic, but we got it better here. So this is sitting nice and flush now. Just, I don't know, I used what I had. Just some, I wanted this connection to be better, so we went 3/4 into a 3/4 to 1 inch bushing into this 1 inch coupling, was able to glue that back into there. Oh man, pretty crazy, but. All right, there she is. Wire nutted up, the junction here, ready to go. This is my pump box. Basically, it's just rainwater tank in to a strainer to a, what is this, 80 PSI pump or something, RV pump. Goes over to a little 1 liter accumulator pressure tank. This has been working pretty good. I just have it all zigzagged around, and then the water comes out right there into this shut-off valve over there, right there at the bottom right. So essentially what I'm trying to do is I'm just going to deconstruct this a bit. I have to pull all of this out. Luckily, I just got to disconnect the pump and the tank here. 2 connections, and then I should be able to just pull all of this out. Cut hole in this box, rip everything out, get it done here. Okay, holy smokes, we got it. Ended up using Sawzall. Just zipped that plywood up. Was able to rotate it out. Now we got a hole. So I'm just gonna connect this, hook everything up. Let's give it a test. Digging out the final bit. I just gotta get this chewed down a little here right at the end. Then we can glue everything. Holy cow, we did it! Holy. I was a little worried about getting this on. That's kind of tricky, but nice. Went on pretty smoothly. The angle was a little tricky, but luckily that's not pulling on this too hard. This was already bent a bit, so I think that'll be okay. All right, we're powered down. I turned the breaker off, main breaker, and I also just shut the inverter down to make that double safe. But here's my panel. So yeah, quick rundown. We've got our 120 volts in from our inverter. That's going over to here. And then I just have a jumper because I don't have a 240 volt split phase set up. That gets 120 volts to both sides of the panel here. Then you got your neutral ground bond, and then, you know, all your neutral and ground wires. And then all your hots go into your breakers. So essentially, yeah, just gonna pop a new hole, run that black wire in here. I got a compression fitting to keep it snug in there, and then a breaker. So let's wire this up and test this pump out. Yo, come on. Let's go. There. Let me just set everything up, and then we'll show you the final product with some better lighting. This breaker here, we got our hot, and we got our neutral and ground there. So I'll just leave the breaker off. Let's power everything up, and then I'm gonna just keep these valves shut. We'll see if we can pressure up this main line and test it out. All right, it's almost go time. I forgot one thing. I've got to get this tank to 28 PSI. So that's because it says to put it 2 PSI below your cut-in pressure. And this is 30. So let me check. Okay, we got some air. Let's freaking get this up. Some pressure. Hold it a bit and let some air out maybe. Okay, 28 and a half. Very good there. 28. Good. Don't touch it. Whew. Okay. That was a pretty hectic weekend. We probably went to the store to get more fittings probably 5-6 times. But that's usually how it goes with plumbing for me. Kind of just piece it together as you go. You have a little game plan, but there's always something you have to miss. And curious if any real plumbers out there deal with that all the time on the job, or if they're write things down, think things through, a little bit more meticulous about their process and design of stuff. But I'm sure they just have a bunch of fittings and stuff in their truck ready to go. But okay, let's try it. Oh. I don't know what that was, but it's going. That was quick. We're at 30 psi. It's going up, but pretty slow. Oh, I wonder if there's air. Okay, we're full open. Nice. We have running water inside from the well, baby. Okay. Oh, it's climbing. Pressure's climbing. We're at about 50. Nice. Shut off. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Well, I see one leak on my plug on the left side there, but holy cow. All right. Let's inspect for leaks everywhere. I mean, got one right here, just a tiny leak I see. I mean, that's just some condensation and stuff, but oh, that feels good. Oh my God. Oh, the water's flowing again. And we should be able to drink it. That's amazing. What a huge project. Great success. I gotta just check a couple things here. Tighten a few threads. Make sure everything just holds. So let's just leave this pressure gauge for, a couple hours. We'll see if it decreases at all. And then I'm gonna do another sanitization of the well just so I can run chlorine through the lines. So I'll do that, then you kind of just have to let it sit in the lines for 12 hours or something like that. And then I can disinfect out all of my lines that have been running with rainwater. There's probably, some sediment, different little bits of bacteria in there. So we want to flush all of those, run absolutely everything, flush all the chlorine out, and then I'll open up my filters. Try a drink of water. That's going to be huge. With the rainwater, I've always been conserving water. Even when we have a ton of rain and stuff like that, I'm so used to showering quick, using minimal water. But tonight I'm going to have the longest shower, long, hot, well-deserved shower. Excited for that. All right, last step. Put a little bit more pool shock in here. All right, there we go. Got the breaker on. We're pumping some water from the well. Inverter's running at about 900 to 1,000 watts. You can hear it, the fan's going. But the box is staying nice and dry. Everything's good. Just gonna let this pressurize up a bit here. Get flowing the chlorine out some more. Got the breaker on, everything's going. Let's flush this chlorine out of the system here with everything flowing. Can't wait to get rid of these rainwater tanks here, because that's the kind of easiest place my hose bib could go through. There we go. Let's flow some chlorine out. Just got it going through a bunch of different hoses here because I didn't want to set up the 50-foot hose. But yeah, let's see. There we go, still nice and clear, look at that. Oh. Yeah, so we got our water test results back. Everything is looking good. I'll be honest, there's a lot of different stuff in there. We did a full potable water test for chemistry, heavy metals, bacterial, all that kind of stuff. So I'll show the list up here on the screen. I've read through it. Everything is looking good. I compared numbers with our guideline standard to the actual sample results, and all the numbers were lower. I think we got some really good, fresh, clean drinking water. So thanks again to Simpure for sending over the 2-stage whole house water filter. That's just going to give me some extra peace of mind knowing that if there was any contaminants or anything, it's all coming through nice and clear and clean, and I don't have to worry about it. So yeah, let's get drinking this water. Can't wait. Oh man, first glass of clean well water. Look at that. It's been a long journey. I've been going nonstop for 3.5 months. We finally got everything hooked up. This was a chaotic last push. Plumbing. 5-6 re-trips to the store to just get little fittings and get everything working. We've chlorinated the well. We've run it through our setup. We've been running it through our water filtration now. This is our first sip. Let's see how it tastes. It came from the ground all the way up through our plumbing, through our pressure tank, through our tap into this glass. Now we can just drink, have a glass of water whenever we want. We can do laundry whenever we want. We can water the garden. Might be able to do a wood-fired hot tub because we can fill it now. So stay tuned for that. It's probably going to be a future project. It was a huge unknown, just sending it into this project, trying a whole lot of different things until something worked. So that feels good. I'm happy to have this water now. Don't need this anymore. Alright, getting the first load of laundry done on the well water. Doing some wipes to just get the chlorine out of the system. Essentially, starting from nothing and building your way up. Super grateful to have this water supply. Everything worked out. Really happy about that. You know, I basically had 3 things to deal with out here. 1, heat. So I have to cut wood, chop it. That's a lot of work. Keep this wood stove going. 2, power system. Always have to make sure that's topped up, have enough power to run everything. Especially when you're doing laundry or something, that requires quite a bit more power. 3, rainwater system. That was only about 2,000 liters or about 500 gallons of water. You know, in the winter we get a ton of rain, and that was pretty good. It would clog up a few times. I'd have to clean out the strainers. I have not actually cleaned the tanks out in a year or so. So I knew I was working on this project, so I haven't done it. If I couldn't have finished this well, I would have had to take those out this summer, disconnect everything, clean them all out very good, get them all refilled. But still, a lot of things to just keep track of, keep this place going. livable to a fairly modern standard. That's what I'm aiming for. I'd like some comforts, at least when you have some things automated, you don't have to think about it. You have a lot more time to do other stuff. So I'm looking forward to some other projects that need to get done and just having the basics set up so that we can do that. I am super happy to at least have the well water system working. Plus, I don't have to go do trips to my neighbors anymore. We can just drink from the tap. Big shout out to the channel members, Newton Renda, Carl Schultz, Michael McClown. Also thanks to Michael McClown for the super thanks on the last video. Much appreciated. I didn't hurt myself. My back is okay, but I definitely need a break. Really appreciate everybody watching, all the comments, likes, subs. You guys are awesome. Appreciate all the support. Basically sorting out a bunch of stuff for the next projects. You know, things coming up though. We got to increase our solar system. We have to set up a septic system. I've got to finish all the trim inside the cabin. I have to finish the ceiling. I need another shed because I'm out of storage again. So I have to clean up all this stuff inside. We just need some dry storage. I want to see if I can look into a used tractor, fix it up. Lots of different things we're going to get going on. So if you're excited about all that stuff, stay tuned. And I'm excited to share some more projects and get into some other things. So yeah, also, I didn't forget, I'm still going to pan those 3 buckets of fines I held out from dumping in the hole. So appreciate your patience for all the gold guys out there. Now we got some running water from the hose. I can pan that, check it out. We'll see what we find. Gonna be kind of interesting. I'll also go through my cool rock pile that I've built up. Got probably 3 buckets of that as well. And a stack over there. So we'll probably get into that next video. Just having to push and wrap all this up before freezing, right? So now that we've got a little more breathing room, we'll get into that. Appreciate you watching. We'll see you on the next one.